Hi, Kevin Yoder here. Welcome back to another episode of KevinYoder.tv. Today, I'm going to share with you the 5 home selling myths that you have to stop believing. 5 myths to stop believing. Before I get into that with you, I want to point your eyes down below. Point your eyes, that's right, to a couple links. One of them is to a home search site. And if you're looking for a home for sale, this link will lead you to a website that we have that will give you access to all properties that are available to even agents, all access to the MLS. The second one is a home evaluation site. And as I'll share with you in the video, it's not 100% accurate, it's a starting point. Well, let me get started with the 5 home selling myths that you have to stop believing. When you're thinking about getting your home on the market this year and getting it ready for sale and how to do that and all the things that go into it, pay attention to this. The 5 myths to stop believing, and then there's an article below. I think there's actually 6 myths. I took one out for the sake of brevity and clarity, and I focused on the top 5 that are really the most critical. Myth number 1, you can do it solo. This is the traditional conversation that for sale by owner, I can do it on my own. I'll say this, yes, you can. Yeah, that's right, I said it. You can. The follow-up question is, at what cost? There's always a cost to it. I was observing an agent this year who was putting an offer on a home that was really, it was for sale by owner, but it was one of those like discount brokerage companies. It was on the MLS, but it was priced at least, we figured out, about $15,000 to $20,000 under what it should have been. Of course, the agent put an offer on it, and knowing the price, they paid list price. It was underpriced. The seller didn't know because they didn't have access to the types of metrics we do as agents, which allow us to see what's active right now on the market, what's the competition look like, and then use 6-month trending to see what home prices were. And then also there's that like nuance piece which you just aren't going to know unless you're actively in the game of real estate pricing. They underlisted it and they end up selling it for less than it should have, to the tune of $15,000 or $20,000. The other side of that is that typically sellers will end up pricing it too high, which has pretty much the same ultimate net effect, which is selling it for less money at the end because it takes too long. Myth number 2, you know what your home is really worth. This kind of goes into that first one, which is the value piece. It's really difficult to know for sure mostly because of emotions. I can speak from experience. I listed my own home at least 2 or 3 times here, and I've made mistakes with that because once my emotions got involved, I wasn't able to hover above the situation like I do with my clients and give that really fiduciary advice. It was more of, this is my home and therefore I feel. This takes the feelings out of the equation, so it's difficult for a seller to know for sure what their home is worth. Myth number 3, it's fine to sell a home as is. There are things that we can do to prepare a home for sale that allow us to put those low cost and high impact improvements in place before putting it on the market. Paint is an example, and just touching up and little things like that, light fixtures, new paint, landscaping. The list goes on, but selling as is rarely a good idea. The idea, of course, is I don't want to do anything, I don't have the money, I don't have the time. But if you would invest 1 or 2 weeks to prepare the home for sale, doing low cost improvements, the reward is exponential because you'll make more money at the closing table. Look at it rather than a cost, look at it as a return on your investment. If I put in X amount of time and a little bit of money, I'm going to get X amount at the closing table as a result of those improvements. Myth number 4, spring is the only time to sell. Well, that's just not true. It's just what most people think. It's what the neighbors think. It's what your friends think. It's what your mom and dad told you. Doesn't mean it's true. You could list a home for sale at the end of February. Today's a little bit crazy outside. The schools are closed, but with the exception of those really crazy events with weather, if buyers are out and navigating around, it's a good time to list. Keep in mind the law of supply and demand. When there's less of anything on the marketplace, any marketplace, then demand goes up. The same thing applies to real estate. Most people wait until the spring market, which means everyone does that. Most people do that. The herd mentality is in play. And then, of course, that means that the demand is less than if it would be at a time when there were less homes on the market. Myth number 5, you can rely entirely on home evaluation sites. I mentioned it at the very beginning. It's not a end-all be-all. It's a starting place. When you plug your address in there, it's very difficult and if not impossible for those algorithms to determine your home's value because of all the special things that you may have done to your home or not done to your home as it compares to all the homes that they have in their database. It's not entirely accurate. The only way to really get a fine-tuned number is to contact an agent and have them do a comparative market analysis for you. Hopefully you found these 5 home selling myths valuable. Again, the link to the full article is below. If you need any assistance with selling your home or how to get the home prepared for sale as you consider making a move in 2019, reach out to Yoder Real Estate. We're always here to help, and we will see you next time.